when I was 16 years old, I climbed the highest mountain in Europe called Elbrus. It's when I realized that I want to become a geoscientist. And so my major motivation is the fact that I realize that I want to be happy. That's it, I think.
You can give a cut to end.
Hmm?
You can take a cut to end all the session.
What do you mean? Just say hello, goodbye. Hello guys, my name is Vlad and I am an expert with utilization of AI to do the automatization and simplifying your business. Today I would like to talk about things that I do in my life and who am I and what my company is about and what my interests are. Just want to get acquainted a little bit and tell you how the things are done in the field of machine learning for the oil and gas clients that I'm working with and all the other engineering businesses that I'm involved in. So I'll go and start with a set of questions that my team prepared for me, and we might stop a little bit and do things. Just want to understand your capabilities and your prerequisites. I'm trying to, I'll try to answer all the questions. So the question number one, tell us more about yourself. So I'm Vlad, and my history is not very unique comparatively to other people around. I was born in Ukraine. I spent all my life out there till 25. When I was 16 years old, I climbed the highest mountain in Europe called Elbrus. It was around 5.5 kilometers. That's when I realized that I want to become a geoscientist, and basically I wanted to understand how the things work, how our planet works, and this was very inspiring for me. So I went to the university in Kharkiv, the National University of Karazin National University, to do the Geosciences. And then after graduation, not even getting my diploma, I was hired immediately by the company that was doing the venture investments in the oil and gas fields in the eastern Ukraine. So the company was owned by Canadian investment corporation, and this was a brilliant start of the career. I spent 2 years with them. I had fun. I figured out a bunch of technical things, and I learned tons of things. I need to give a special thanks to my superior, Vladimir Novikov, that was my senior at that time, and he taught me a bunch of things. So if you are watching me, thank you very much, Vladimir, for being a very important person in my life. So after that, after working 2 years within this company, I switched a little bit to IT because I didn't want to have a one-way road of utilization of my geoscience skills. I went and started working for a project with Halliburton, doing the development of the geological software. And I spent around 2 years on that thing, and then I just decided to move to Canada. I utilized my connections within the Canadian folks that I was working with, and basically moved down to Calgary right away in 2016. And I had a very rough start because that year the oil market crashed, and the huge wave of layoffs started. So I couldn't utilize my geoscience skills, and I decided to have an extra mile and do the master's degree again at the University of Alberta. So I was dumb enough, and I took the major again in oil and gas, more inclined into petroleum engineering, but still in the same field, because I thought that getting this degree will give me some benefits and will expand my career a little bit. So meanwhile, I was doing my master's. It became evident to me that there is no work possibilities after the university. So I started to talk to my peers, to my friends that were doing the studies and finishing their degrees for data science. That was very popular at that time. And I switched to that field. I took some courses at Udemy, at Udacity. I figured out a bunch of self-development courses and everything. And I started bits and pieces of doing the Upwork work for the freelancing. And that's how I went into the field. There was a company called AltaML that hired me at that time in 2017, I think. Just right after I finished my university again, and that's how my career started as the data scientist. I was responsible for doing some computer vision problems and financial solutions and basically a bunch of solutions for a technical part, engineering part, but the thing where I thrived the most was the oil and gas, because I was coming from that field and I had a bunch of experience on that end. So basically, after working a couple years for AltaML, I already knew that I'm gonna be taking a lead role in the solving the oil and gas problems. That's when I realized that I can monetize that, and I started my own company called MLtune. And gradually, steadily, we were getting some more clients over the period since 2018. And we worked our ass working with very challenging solutions built specifically for the clients in the field of oil and gas and engineering. I'll name some of the examples later, but this is how I became a specialist, and that's how I just went to the market, basically. What inspires me the most in my daily life? So I think the most inspirational is the fact that I understand that the life is not forever. We are not living eternally. And I live to the standards where I understand that there is no past, and future is somewhere out there. And the only thing that you can do and what you can do is today. We are limited in time, and we are trying to get to sometimes somebody's goals. And somebody's goals is your must. If you feel something that you have to do, this is somebody's goal. And I'm trying to live my life not with the word I must or I have to. I try to live my life with the motto that I have to or I need to, because this is part of my goal. And that's what brings me up and brings me to the brings me out in real time over and over again in the morning. Who has been the most influential person in my life and why? So this is a very tricky question, actually. I've been thinking about that. It's very hard to pick the person that is more influential than the other one. There are definitely a selection of people that I admiring, and there are things that I pick from each of them. I like the way how Steve Jobs was working. I like the way how the Elon Musk is thinking. In the same time, I don't like some of the things. And there are a lot of people that I'm picking up some wisdom from. I picked a lot from my seniors. I picked a lot from the millionaire people that I had the pleasure to meet with. I usually tend to be not the smartest in the room, so I always find the places where I feel the dumbest. That's what brings me to the point where I'm thriving and I'm growing. So it's very hard to be like, sure about what kind of person that I'm following and I'm admiring. But I definitely pick on the key personalities that are driving our market, especially in AI solutions at the moment. But not only that, I'm also looking into people that made good businesses. And I try to learn from them. I try to understand how they build their business and solve the problems. So this is very hard question, but I would leave it as this one. So can you share a challenge you faced and how you overcome it? So the biggest challenge in my life, I think, was facing my boundaries and to understand the things that I cannot do. So when I was a young guy, I thought to myself that I can do everything, and that's what inspires everyone nowadays. But most important thing to me after I break my 30s was to realize the boundaries that I cannot make. I cannot be a base jumper anymore. Well, although I can, but I cannot be a professional. I cannot become a sportsman anymore. I cannot become a very, efficient and unique tennis player, for example. But there are things and boundaries that I realize for myself that make my life fulfilled. And the major challenge for me is to figure out the boundaries that I'm. I definitely faced a lot of things during my life, and if you would ask me how many lives I lived, I would tell you like around 5 or 6. And there are, each period of time you have to adapt, and each period of time you have to live completely different aspects and different understanding. So yeah, like challenging parts was going to Canada, doing the immigration, obviously, and living through that coldness, and then switching to from my beloved career to another beloved career in machine learning. But I don't think this is a challenge, though. This is a very good experience that I like, and that brought me into the conversation with you guys today. What do I enjoy doing in my free time? Well, it's a very interesting question. I like to do sports. I like to do jogging. I like to do gym, like I used to, to like it. But right now I like to drink a little bit of beer and enjoy myself. I also like to have proper conversations with people. I like to learn some new cultures and how people survive and how people live. I definitely like to read new books and listen to very good podcasts that help me out to do my day-to-day business. I don't spend my time on YouTube. I don't spend for occasional watching. I don't spend my time on Instagram at all. I try to spend my time very efficiently. So if I'm not working, I'm sleeping, or I'm reading some really important books and interesting ones that expand my perception of the world. So that's what I'm trying to do each time. What motivates me to achieve my goals? As I said, part of it is the realization that the life is short, and I only have maybe around 20-30 years left of good life that I can enjoy in a healthy way and see around things and breathe in and just basically live and be happy. So my major motivation is the fact that I realize that I want to be happy. And I don't want to be happy in the way how people think this. I don't want to have house. I don't want to have a machine like a car or Porsche, whatever you name it. I want to make things that make me happy, not the things that people put on me, but the things that I would like to do. And that's what makes me to be motivated to get up each day and enjoy my life. What role does teamwork play in my success? I honestly believe that the human capital is the major thing that drives the business. I'm coming from the area from the eastern part of Europe, where the ethics of work is that I'm the owner of the business, I'm the boss, and you are nothing. This is not how the things work. I usually do the teamwork, I usually do the team buildings because I realize that I cannot do everything myself. I always organize work in the way that I make people happy first and create the environment for them that will be given the most efficient results over the shortest period of time possible. And I don't want this toxic relationship of when the person as the boss is just like pushing out people to do the things. One very important thing though that I thought about recently is that I've realized that I really steal money from my employees. Like, if you think about that for a second, I pay them so little money for the things that I cannot do myself, but I'm getting the most profit out of that. I'm not saying that I'm doing not ethical stuff. I'm paying salaries. I'm enjoying working with my guys. I have lots of respect to my employees, but I realize in the same time that I'm stealing money from them. This is so freaking cool. I cannot even explain. So I'm utilizing their potential basically to become richer myself. How do you handle stress in difficult situations? Well, this is very intricate question and very personal, to be honest. I can tell you that I do sports. I can tell you that I read books, as I already mentioned. I have, a stress book of people that I call usually when there are things that I cannot solve. I always call somebody for advice. But most important, unfortunately, or fortunately enough, most important decisions I'm making myself. And the way how I handle my stress is that if something is on the horizon, like right now, you just take the deep breath, take a moment, think how to operate with this, and then try to solve it. If the problem is not solvable within this approach, it can be solved with money, and that's not a problem anymore. But sometimes there are some problems, except death, obviously, that cannot be solved. And I treat any problems as very easy problems anyways, because the most the toughest thing that you can face with is the death. Your death, or your friends, or your colleagues, your relatives, your team members, or whatever. This is irresolvable, but everything else is just a piece of cake, to be honest. What values do you prioritize most in your personal or professional life? I really appreciate people that are knowledgeable. I really appreciate people that are very highly educated and tactical, ethically mature, and emotionally mature people that don't play games, that if they see something going on, they tell you, they're honest with you. I don't like people that are doing this sneaky kind of a conversation and trying to negotiate. Obviously, when you're doing sales, you have to be the person like that. But I appreciate the honesty. The honesty is the major thing when doing business. I don't trust anyone that cannot be honest with me. I don't trust anyone who is not reliable, who does not do things in an agreed time and an agreed manner. I cannot work with these people. I cannot relate to this kind of personalities that are not reliable. Can you tell us about a project or initiative you're particularly proud of? So right now, for example, I started to indulge into the market of venture investments inside of the oil and gas field. And I have some partners right now that we are working together on some AI solutions for this industry that have been overlooked. Because oil and gas industry was in the market for more than 100 years. And there are certain things that were not looked at within the scope of utilization of AI to solve them. And that's what I'm facing right now, and that's what I'm building right now. We have a team of dedicated people right now that are doing these investigations on the market and do the scouting for the problems that can be solved within the oil and gas. And then we are building the companies over that and making the solutions for the customers that require these solutions. What advice would you give to someone starting in my field of machine learning? Be brave, be bold, don't listen to anyone except yourself. Make your goals and be honest with yourself. Answer these questions and also get to the point to the questions that make you happy. Because the professional life is not only the life that you are living. You have to be a happy person and you have to know yourself. Once you know yourself and your boundaries, it's much easier to deal with the business. The professional side is not something that cannot be solved. There are lots of people that can learn stuff, but you have to be honest with yourself and answer the question about your weaknesses. So be brave, be bold, live to your vision of the life, and everything will come up. Tell us about your first experience working with oil and gas companies. So I briefly mentioned already that I started working with these companies, with sort of companies like that, when I started with AltaML. We faced a bunch of very interesting problems, starting with the GPS signal processing and understanding how to make it more precise in the field and outside of the city and inside of the city. Working with the optimization patterns for fracking operations and doing the engineering, drilling and figuring out the malicious patterns that aggravate in the drill column, for example. But my first experience within machine learning was very, very intriguing because the challenges that I faced were something that I liked, because I knew the field from the beginning, and I knew that there are some things that needs to be solved. For example, the fracking operations. There have been lots of people doing the same thing with the microseismic understanding and automatization of interpretation of that. But people didn't do machine learning on that. And at that time, in 2017, the data science field was very, very new. And applications of these solutions for oil and gas companies what was driving me, to be honest. What inspired you to focus on oil and gas? Obviously, the main thing that helped me out is to realize who I am and what I want to be. And that's what I realized when I was 16 years old. I wanted to become a geoscientist. And then after doing some courses at the university, I understood, and I was driving around these areas where they're drilling for oil, and I was looking at the rigs, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I was like watching the movies, I was watching things, and that's the first time I realized that dreams come true. I was dreaming about that. I had dreams about becoming the geoscientist in oil and gas. And one day, my senior called me in to become this one. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I jumped over the roof. Like crazy. I was so crazy. What role does machine learning play in improving operations for oil and gas companies? So most of the solutions right now are done with their own automatization. Most of the companies and people are trying to save money on the operations. So bigger companies right now are optimizing, and the smaller companies want to make their profit higher. Previously, everything was done manually. We had very experienced people looking at the core samples, at the well logging and geophysics. But nowadays, with the advancement of the computational systems, we can apply these new models to build the solutions that are replicating these professionals, and basically making the process of exploration and investigation and drilling and extraction much faster. And so that's how the machine learning comes in play, to be honest, because whenever you optimize for things, you make your work faster, and that's the main goal for the business. Could you elaborate on the tools and methodologies that can be utilized for this industry? So most of the tools, so to speak, are not unique for the industry. Everything that sources data to us can be utilized. Every algorithm that's been designed for the optimization can be used for oil and gas industry. Whenever your project is data ready, we can do any kind of a solution based on the applicable tools that we have. We can do the computer vision solutions, build the systems in PyTorch, in TensorFlow, for example, for core sampling analysis. We can do the automatic asset health management based on the gadgets installed on the well. We can track down the pressures for the well, for a gas well, for example, or debit for the oil well, and tell you the predicted patterns for the exploration. So there are a bunch of approaches. There are no major ones, because each specific problem requires specific solution for the field. Are there specific AI models suitable for oil and gas applications, or do you develop custom solutions for each project? So yeah, like as I said, there is no, silver bullet solution for everything, because each specific problem requires specific solution in terms of the pipeline building, but not in terms of methodology. We can, apply NLP for natural language processing for the solutions based on the chatbots for building like personal assistants to the managers. But this can be built for the managers not only within the oil and gas industry. It can be built anywhere and for everyone. So we can utilize any type of the technology available. There are certain things that customers are requiring at the moment. Though we are looking at the personal assistance, we are looking at real-time location systems. We are looking at the fleet management. We are looking for internet solutions. We are looking for multipass deadening, for example, making the GPS signal much more precise. There are basically limitless opportunities within this field, but certain requirements are applied. Because customers are more inclined to utilize the solutions that bring money to the pool, not saving money. This is the major thing. That's what the customer requirement is right now. How does the model development process work? What stages does the work go through? So basically, our team have a very unique approach to our customers. Once the customer is satisfied and sourced, basically after cold calls and loops of continuous work, we sit down and try to figure out the potential use cases altogether. So usually I propose to do the 3 use cases for a 3 months period to build the MVP, out of which we can build the POC and utilize it for the market afterwards and do the deployment stage. So this funnel helps the customer to spend less money on the development, and basically you have a team that dedicated to solving 3 things at once and doing the proper reporting. We can tell the customer that one of the problems work, another problem does not work, and we make quick decisions. It's not like a waterfall approach that we're using. We are using the flexible approach of Scrum, and then that's how the things are working out to be much cheaper than they are if you were to hire big monsters like Boston Consulting Group or PwC or any other companies that are doing that. So it's very straightforward process that we are following, and we are trying to save money. We are acting as the partners for the business that we are working with. What challenges do business owners in this field commonly face? So, as I mentioned already, the major problem that business owners facing is the fact that they need to spend money on something that they don't realize, they don't understand. And this is something that we are trying to work on with our customers, and we are trying to convince them to be, to try bits and pieces first, and then if the thing goes well, we start to engage into a bigger picture. So basically, it's very standard sales approach. We are selling small thing first, like a trial. We can actually go and try to give you like a free service, going grinding through your data, and then if you like the process, if you like the outcome, we can sign the NDA, and then we can work with basically our master service agreement compilation. So there are some solutions when the company is sending us the snippet of the data without signing the NDA, or if we sign the NDA, we can get like a bigger chunk of data, and we start working with the model processing and proposition of the solutions for the customer. So there is no strict rule, to be honest. And one thing that I wanted to add, though, the business owners they don't care about utilization of the hype technologies, like especially if it's a like middle company or a small company. Bigger companies, yes, they are following to the hype, but the smaller companies, they're always aiming for the profit, and that's the main thing where we're trying to come in as the business partners. We are not coming in as vendors that are willing to suck your money for a solution of the problem that cannot even work. We are coming in with the expertise and knowledge to help you out to sort things. And that's how we buy into our customers. And we provide in the good quality service for less money and faster time. So what solutions can I offer from my side? As I said, professional services, limited in time, limited in budget. You're gonna get the fast solution, relatively cheap comparatively to the market. And also you have a free support. You have access to the team of very high class, experienced developers and subject matter experts that have expertise specifically in the engineering field and in field of oil and gas application. How widespread is the adoption of machine learning in the oil and gas industry today? Are companies globally embracing AI in their operations? So this is a very interesting question. I've been to ADIPAC last week actually, and most of the companies out there on that exhibition was selling solutions for the technical problems, like pipelines and taking care of the gas emissions and everything like that. But what struck my attention is that they had a specifically dedicated booth for the AI solutions in the field. I went there. I was hoping to see some very unique solutions of the drone applications and solutions for the optimization of the processing and basically tracking down the production and distribution of the commodity, but I didn't find any. Most of the companies right now that are on the market to be doing the AI, they are concerned about doing the Google inside of the customer database, building the personal assistants, and they're missing out on bits and pieces of automatization of the process. So basically, like, if you look into that field, there are so many companies that tell that they can use AI, but there are little amount of them that are specifically working on the solutions that industry requires. And that's what pisses me off, because this is something that we are trying to solve, like not first degree problem. We are just trying to solve and like figure out and create the problem that we want to solve. They didn't act as they were to know the industry well. So my approach right now is that I'm going to my customers and I'm doing this. Like, I'm asking them what they want to solve. And that's where the AI application comes in. But overall, I think this is a hypey time for AI. Everyone wants to be there. Everyone wants to do the augmented reality. Everyone wants to make some solutions based on the machine learning and work around. But you need to take in consideration that 90% of time is spent on data selection, data cleaning, figuring out the problem, and only 10% of the time is done for machine learning. I'm not selling machine learning in here. I'm selling the services of making your data to make sense to you. And this is different. Like, that's what I learned actually myself through the process of working with customers. Everyone thinks you just plug in your data and you get the answer. No, this is not how it works. Like, out of 3 months for 3 use cases, we spend 90% of time we spend for data preparation, for data cleaning, for figuring out the problem, and then 10% is done just to build the model and deploy it. And that's how the whole business works. But overall, this is very hypey. You just need to ride this wave, and everyone is invested right now. In your opinion, will the trend of AI implementation grow in the next 5 years? Oh yes, it goddamn it will. Like, we are into the new era where the computation power becomes cheaper and cheaper over the years, and we can develop much bigger solutions with less effort year over year. So I'm thinking that in the upcoming 5 years, we're gonna have really substantial breakthroughs for the big companies that have money for that. But in the same time, we need to understand that some things that we tend to think that could be solved by AI, they won't be solved. And this is something that I wanted to bring up to our point today, is that, again, 10% only spent on machine learning. And the decision makers that are thinking in the way how the AI would work, they are not paying attention to the fact that there are certain things that cannot be solved with AI. Like, you can be dreaming and imagining the flying cars and drones everywhere and making solutions with the optimization of the work. But this requires lots of work underneath. And some companies are not ready for that. But there will be some breakthroughs going on. Most of it will be coming from the IT people for the next couple years. That's definitely what's going to be happening. But we need to make sure that we understand the market to the fullest, because oil and gas market is literally dying. And for the next couple years, or 5, 10, you name it, we will have like huge, big companies owning everything, but the small companies will just not be cutting that. And this is a different topic to talk about, because we can make solutions of, making the automatization and optimization with the AI to be servicing these small companies that will make them thrive. And that's my vision, is like, we are not going only into bigger picture, we are also need to be explicitly solving the smaller problems for the smaller companies. So I think that this is like, it's very, very huge question, but major companies are already investing and they will be making breakthroughs, but also there will be some breakthroughs in the more, like in the small sector of smaller companies for oil and gas, because there are some people that are willing to utilize new technology for a solution of the same problem. Can machine learning impact global issues such as climate change? Whoa. Yes. So right now there are companies that are capable of utilizing satellite imagery data to predict the CO2 emissions, for example. We can deliberately see the exhaust of the plants. We can predict how this will affect the weather patterns. We can see how these things work. And then we can align this knowledge with the models that, for example, Microsoft is doing. They're doing a bunch of solutions for the weather forecasting, but in the same time, we can align this weather forecasts with the patterns of the emissions. And this is something that can be done in the future. We have 10 minutes? Okay. Yeah, I'm almost done. I don't have too many things to tell. We can talk about life now, if you want. All right. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna be done soon. Okay, so what advice would you give to young professionals interested in working with oil and gas companies? I think I already done that, to be honest. Like, I think that the major part that each individual needs to make is that they need to be very, very honest to themselves and understand the whole spectrum of the market. There are certain things that the business requires, and you need to take in consideration the age of these decision makers that we are working with. because the age right now is 35, 40 plus, and they are reluctant of hiring the newer professionals. And this industry itself is very old and requires new blood, to be honest, that will be solving that. But they're reluctant on hiring higher educated, very well paid AI specialists for the market. So you have to be very deliberately selecting this. If you want to become this professional, you need to really love the profession. And you need to be honest with yourself, because there are lots of ups and downs in this industry. There are much easier solutions. You can go and work for marketing and you're gonna make a lot of money. But in the same time, if you're passionate about the things that you're doing, why not? So this is something that you need to do, and you need to be very careful about your selection for the future. Sometimes you don't even have a choice, though. Sometimes you just make a decision based on the flow that you're going in. But you need to make a step back and think and ask yourself what makes you happy and what makes you, to select this specific solution. Apart from that, if you are interested in technological stack, you can go and do any type of the machine learning course, like for example MIT. You can learn the bachelor in data science. You can get a degree, 3 months degree. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the professional experience and practice. That's how you become a professional. And that's what my suggestion is. You just go with the flow. And that's how the thing's gonna work out. Okay, so the last question. What was the goal? Oh my goodness. Could you share a practical case for MLtune as an example? So, for example, we had this use case where the client required the optimization for fracking operations, and the goal was to take the data from the customer and put it in a certain way so we can build a system that can tell the operators how to run the fracking operation faster comparatively to the more experienced ones. And this was considered to be like a cruise control operation guidance for less developed, less experienced operators. To accomplish this work, we scrapped a bunch of data from the customer from the previous runs, and we built a system that model that is was tracking down the most optimal path for the tool to run inside of the well. We just the fracking operation itself was around 50 runs per well. That solution could deliberately give at least 2 hours in time saved for the operators doing the optimization, which was resulting into around $10,000 in savings. And if you multiply that by 100 wells that you're gonna have, it's gonna be a huge amount of money saved. And that's what the business outcome was, because the customer was interested in the training his operators and telling them how to make the work more efficient, but in the same time they were thinking about to sell it to the market. And that's what we are doing right now. That's it, I think. Hmm?
You can take a cut to end over the session.
What do you mean? Just say hello, goodbye? Oh, it's not necessary. Okay. There is no need. I just want to say thank you very much for my audience and for my clients and my relatives that made this happen. My team, my marketing team that is very intelligent and very experienced. Thank you very much for setting this up. I hope that you're gonna like these sessions, and I'll be running these sessions more often for you guys. Thank you very much for your time, and have a good one. That's it.
Nice.
Cheers, man. Nice. So I had a nice time.
You done probably.
Do you think so?
Yeah.